New York City is a big place, but it's not big enough for two dark passengers. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, and we're passengers on this ride that Dexter Resurrection is taking us on. And after a really good premiere, I think it's fair to say that episode 2, in comparison to the first episode, was a little bit disappointing. But when you factor in that you're not getting any more Dokes, you're not getting any more Miguel, you're not getting any more Trinity, I think it would be hard not to take a step backwards. But you know what? We did get a hell of a lot of Harry Morgan, and that for me is a good thing.
I love Harry Morgan, and also another key thing to remember is a lot of big actors that are yet to be introduced, and they're probably just holding them back a wee bit. But Dexter in the Big Apple, he's used to big donuts, but he's chomping on some big apples now, and Harry at his side, I'm all for it. And we got a wee bit of Batista as well. Batista's on the case, even if he is like 100 miles away from Dexter, but he's there.
Peter Dinklage might be big in terms of fame, but he's certainly not big in terms of stature. But we've still yet to see his character in the show. Christian Ritter, we're still to see her as well. So they've definitely got some big names up their sleeves, so to speak. But we do see Dexter trying to settle in to New York City, and he takes a bit of a liking to a serial killer that is going around. A serial killer that has killed 7 people, and that's how we start the episode. We actually see, and to be honest, I'm not going to lie, I actually thought this was Dexter. See, for a couple of minutes until he started speaking more, then you seen a bit more of his face. But originally I thought this was Dexter. We had a guy with a similar build to Dexter, similar age to Dexter. I guess you could argue even had like a similar sort of facial hair.
Yep. I thought it was He sounded like Dexter putting on a voice.
And as Dokes would say, he was looking like a creepy motherfucker in the back of this guy's... I get... What's it New York called? Or your cab or something? Your taxi? Or your share ride? Something like that.
It was your cab or something. I don't know. I don't know why it was called your cab. I always just assumed it was like Uber's and the big yellow taxi.
Yeah, but they were calling it something else here. So we see there's a killer that's been going around. He's killing these guys. He's jumping in the back seat. He's I guess getting some sort of razor blade and holding them hostage and telling them who's going to miss you. And then I guess once that gets revealed, he kills them, he beheads them, and we see this taxi driver, cab driver, he gets beheaded, and then he's found by a couple of skateboarding kids. Dexter then takes a little bit of a notion to this, and he decides he wants to follow in the footsteps. So he befriends another share driver. He then ends up renting from this guy.
Blessing,
yeah, the guy's name's Blessing. He's from Haiti. We get introduced to his family. I mean, it seemed like a lovable, charming, fun-loving kind of group or whatever.
He kind of screams the kind of guy that's going to get killed.
Yeah, he does. Dexter moves in down below. I don't know if it's a good idea. He thinks it is, but I mean, if you've got this family above you, and there's quite a lot of them, and they've got the viewpoint looking down at you. I don't know how Dexter's going to sneak people into his new apartment, his new basement, and kill them. But
it's a decent place to live until you can start killing people. But he wants to do that pretty quickly.
Yeah. Plus, the walls do seem they sound very thin. So I don't know if Dexter's going to be able to, slice and dice many people down there. But
and also Dexter Morgan living in the basement of some bloody family above him, man.
How the mighty have fallen.
What?
But Dexter tells Blessing that he's looking for a job. He wants to try and make a bit of money. And then he gets him to bring up the whole how do you become a share ride driver. And then he hears about the guy that managed to escape and lost an ear. This guy's invited to the party, so Dexter uses this opportunity to ask him questions, pretending that, here, I'm thinking about becoming one of you guys. I'm going to become a share rider. I need some tips to stay alive. But what Dexter is really looking for is some advice and some clues about finding this guy, because he wants him on his table. And the guy reveals that this serial killer who's killed 7 people calls himself the Dark Passenger. Or at least that's what he calls him. And Dexter's no having it. Harry's like, well, Dexter, come on. But Dexter says, no, there's no room enough for 2 Dark Passengers. But you're here for Harrison. I can multitask. So Dexter, I mean, maybe it's a bit of a beef here, pride at stake. Dexter doesn't like the fact there's someone else going around New York City with the name The Dark Passenger. That's Dexter's name, and he wants to keep it.
Gimmick infringement, copyright infringement, and then he storms off in a huff in his shite mobile. The alien mobile. What a crock of shite this is. Big Blessing was ripping the piss out of him, saying, "Oh, Dexter, my man, you need to get no ride. This is shit. This is embarrassing. You can't drive around in that, oh me." And then Dexter drives off, and Looks like he got himself a new ride. The most generic four-door sedan you'll ever see in your puff. But you know what? It's better than that. I'll give him that.
Yeah, we see Dexter go into the hotel room. He's scoping out Harrison's kill, and he comes to the conclusion here: Harrison done a lot right. He's cleaned up after himself. He used the plastic off the shower curtain. One thing he didn't do though was clean a speck of blood that was on the roof. But Dexter got that for him, so he's fine. We see a bit more of that detective woman and her partner. They're in the room looking for clues. They think it's too clean, so therefore the murder must have went down in this room, in this hotel room. They get the woman, the blonde-haired chick, who is what's her job? I don't know what she's doing there.
I would borderline call her like the recruiter. Or are you on about the woman in the hotel room?
Blonde,
medical.
Blonde. Aye, that's the one. Aye, anyway, well, she gets called in for questioning, and it turns out they want to speak to Harrison as well, because I guess those two will be on the camera, and they will be the last two people seen with the guy that got cut up into 9 parts.
They will be. Thankfully for them, though, there's no cameras in the actual corridors, but there is in the lobby and the public areas. But again, Harrison...
I think there is.
No, he said there's none.
Hold on, the lobby would be a kind of corridor, would there not?
He's on about the rooms.
Dexter seen a camera in the lobby, so...
Well, I'm just saying what the guy who obviously is the manager said. That's what he told the police.
Yeah, there's no cameras in the rooms, obviously, but I imagine there would...
No, he said the corridors, we like to keep privacy to our guests.
I'm pretty sure he said there's cameras in the elevator. And we did see some in the corridors.
No, I'm telling you, there was none in the corridors apart from the public areas at the bottom.
Well, I'm pretty sure Dexter looked up and seen one, but here...
Yeah, maybe Dexter did, I'm pretty sure he did, but maybe the hotel manager... That's what the hotel manager said on Paramount Plus.
Yes, guys, Dexter Resurrection is on Paramount Plus, and you can watch it all, I believe, for $3.99. This is no paid promotion, so we ain't getting paid to talk up Paramount Plus, but if you want to give a wee super chat or become a member on Fog Entertainment, then feel free to do so. But yeah, Harrison, he's basically trying to move on from the kill. We see him go out partying with his black friend. He does some drugs, he gets high. He sees the guy that he killed. He's seen him multiple times. Maybe killing for Harrison's just not so easy the way it is for Dexter. I don't really recall Dexter killing anyone and feeling guilty or struggling with it, apart from maybe Brian. Brian was the only person I remember Dexter killing where it seemed to affect him.
And that makes a lot more sense, though. It was personal. It was, had a connection to Brian, but also he does spot Dexter, but there's no hallucination here. He thinks it is a hallucination, but Dexter's actually walking out the hotel.
Yes, so we see Dexter outside of the hotel, and guess what? Tonight is the night. Well, maybe not the night for the kill to go down, but there's certainly going to be some fetting. Dexter has managed to come to the conclusion that the guy he's looking for, this so-called dark passenger, which I think Dexter refers to him as the pretender, the imposter, he works for some sort of data company.
Data bridge analysts.
That's the one. And he goes through all the profiles, and he sees the one profile without a picture. So, Ron Smits must have mispictured it. He does a wee bit of internet searching for him. Turns out the guy's not online unless he's dead in the cemetery or he's 3 years old. But that wouldn't really fit the description. Even though Michael C. Hall was looking a bit dead in the premiere, he's not quite 80 plus. So Dexter comes to the conclusion the guy's got a clean slate. If you've got a clean slate on the internet, then it probably means you went out of your way to achieve that. We see Dexter following him. The guy tries to get him one of the share rides. Tommy! My name's Tommy, but Dexter's like, no, I'm the real Tommy. Don't you steal my share ride. And it was very awkward. Dexter was acting as if this guy was trying to steal like $1 million out of his bank account. And then Tommy kind of shat it. This is a serial killer. You think of these people are tough, scary, dangerous people. Dexter says, don't steal my rod. And this guy was like, oh, okay, sorry, walks off. Dexter then gives chase, follows him down to the underground. The guy gets on a train, someone bumps into Dexter, hurts him. Dexter's out of breath because he's not used to the cardio. He's not used to chasing people down. He was in a coma, I guess, for 10 weeks. Harry's upset. He's like, I thought we were just fetting him, Dex. Why are you giving chase? You're not up to this physical standard. You can't be doing a kill. And then Harry's kind of proud of his son. He's like, You jeopardized this. You risked it to save a life, not to kill. And then and when did you start caring about people, Dexter? And Dexter's like, since right now. So maybe we're seeing a change. Maybe something's happened to Dexter Morgan. Maybe he is a guy that is no longer this, selfish. I only care about the blood and I only care about taking lives and putting them into this wee slide box. Dexter did. He risked his cover. He risked a possible confrontation with this serial killer, a chance to maybe kill him, maybe this could put the guy off, the guy could get away, but he risked it to save the life of one of these little share ride car drivers, so you've got to respect him for that.
He prevented it from going 8-0, I tell you, man. It's still at 7, but Dexter, he could be the 7-1. He definitely could be, and it's the correct decision for him. But we have seen throughout the course of this franchise, Dexter, jeopardise his own killing, so to speak, to save people that he cares about. But it's good to see him, but just be a bit more likeable in Dexter Resurrection. Towards the end of season 8, I feel like the guy was very conflicted. This is a good Dexter that I'm seeing here, but we do have Batista. He's on the case. He's speaking to the sheriff over in Iron Lake. Iron Lake, full of jobbers, in my opinion. Looking at Dexter New Blood doesn't give me much hope for watching it, to be honest.
No, I think this is the last we'll see of Iron Lake, or whatever it's called.
I mean, the name's not too relevant, but the sheriff guy, for him to be the chief, the captain, whatever...
He seems like an absolute goofball.
You would expect more.
He doesn't seem like a chief that should be running the place, but here, I guess he was like second in command. Yeah, maybe he was even third in command.
Maybe the population's just that shite, he's just been promoted due to lack of numbers or something, man.
Possibly, but that was it, really. Covered Dexter, covered Batista, covered
the recruiter
Harrison.
lady for the serial killer invitational, she killed a guy with Negan's bat, essentially. They stopped his membership.
Yeah, now apparently he done something that they didn't like. He was like, oh, tell the big man.
Tell the big man I've got a little ass. I think it should be flip big man.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're referring to Peter Dinklage. He wants back in, but he's been told that he's out. He doesn't really take no for an answer. And then he gets a baseball bat, spiked baseball bat, to be precise.
In a public car park. Or is it a parking lot?
Now, here, you say it was a kill. It could have just been a wound. It could have been an inflicted injury.
I mean, true, but I think most of the time you get hit in the head with a baseball bat covered in nails and you're going to die.
And his bank account was 0, so...
I know how that feels.
Yeah, we know that. But is it... I mean, it's a familiar story. Dexter says New York City isn't big enough for 2 dark passengers, but the West Wing's certainly not big enough for 2 people with 0 in their bank account.
You need money, guys. So.
Anyway, I'm sure there's a shitload of people in New York City that go to their bank account and they see $0. But anyway, this guy, I'm led to believe here that maybe there's some sort of bounty going on here and that Peter Dinklage is paying people for kills. Is that what you're getting from this? There's a group for serial killers and they're getting paid money?
It could be that, because it would be a bit basic if it was just a simple case of, here, we're getting a bunch of serial killers together to discuss ideas.
We're sitting over dinner and discussing our latest kills.
It would seem very Avengers, wouldn't it? Like, oh, look, we're whipping out this grand old team here of serial killers. It would seem a bit cheap. So I'm looking forward to see Dexter interaction with them, but I think the problem with this episode is it suffers for double episode fatigue for me. Have you not noticed, right? We've watched a lot of shows over the years. See, any time there's a double episode premiere,
it's very rare the second episode's better than the first.
Or even, like, just holds up against the first episode. It's always weaker. And this was a lot weaker, man. Yeah, you can take out Trinity, Dukes, and Miguel, right? And they were epic at last episode. But there wasn't an awful lot happening here.
Was there not was Mayan season 5 not a double episode? And we thought episode 2 was better? Or was it season 4 that was double episode and episode 2 was crap compared to the premiere?
I can't remember season 5, to be honest.
But was season 4 a double premiere? I think it was. And literally nothing happened. I think it was. Remember, Alvarez shows up at the end?
Yeah. That was good. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, but episode 2 was a disappointment.
It was, but you look at shows over the last couple of years, man, I think originally...
You say you have no problem with it. Your point literally was... double premieres don't tend to do well, so you do have a problem with it?
But I was talking about the episode 1, but I feel like mine's done a bad job because it did a time skip. Here didn't actually incorporate a time skip. There's no real reason for episode 2 to be poor, but again, there's a lot of big actors to be introduced. I feel like we might have been able to see one or two of them.
Yeah, personally, I think the fact that you've went from having Dokes and Trinity and Miguel in the premiere to try and make up for their what looks like one and done maybe appearance, I think you probably would have wanted to introduce your Peter Dinklage into this episode, but just to give it a bit more of a name value, but they didn't do that. But anyway, maybe that's good that they've managed to go the first 2 episodes and they've still got some big names out there that we're still yet to see. So yeah, that's pretty good. It's a 10 episode season, so we're already a fifth of the way through, 20% through Dexter Resurrection. You know, you wait so long. I say you wait so long. I mean, it didn't even take that long once it began filming. I mean, it's pretty much 7 months and it's here. So I mean, they got this out very quick, and here's hoping season 2 will be out again next year. And unlike some other series, you don't have to wait 2, 3, sometimes 4 years to get the next season, because that's a disaster. I don't care how good a show is. Nobody wants to wait 3, 4 years in between seasons.
No, absolutely not.
And you get to the point where, like, I think you can go from, like, 1 year's fine, but see when you're going 3, 4 years, you almost have to rewatch to get familiar again.
No, I totally agree, but at least with this.
For example, House of the Dragon. See, by the time season 3 comes out, I honestly think we'll probably need to rewatch season 1. Just to try, and then season 2, just to try and familiarise yourself with it again.
Because it's so long ago, but here they started filming this in January, and here we go. We've got a season out. And I think another key thing is, not remember with Mayans, that filming actually wasn't wrapped up until, like, episode 7 was coming out of the season. And yeah, you can say that, well, that runs the risk of things being rushed, and also for situations that would stem from that. But at the end of the day, man, it's a disgrace what's happened, I think, since COVID, how long it's actually taken TV shows to get produced. So it's good to see that an OG show that's been resurrected has actually delivered and can produce episodes and seasons rather quickly. Quick turnaround.
Yeah, definitely. And here, I think if a show's awesome, having a 2, 3, 4 year wait between seasons is going to kill a lot of interest. See if a show's mediocre and you have to wait 2, 3, 4 years, then that, to me, that's just going to kill any sort of interest you've got.
Absolutely. But that's it for episode 2. Rating time, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Bit of a big decline for the premiere, but it was still alright.
I'll give it a 7. I'm looking forward to seeing Dexter get back into the killing mode here. Dark Passenger. Could it be Dark Passenger versus Dark Passenger next time out? I'm hoping so. I like that we get a lot of Harry. And I think that we've got more Harry than I expected us to get. Yeah. I mean, he feels like a big... Harry, to me, feels like the second most prominent character in this show so far.
Which is fantastic, man, because we love Big John.
Big up Harry Morgan. Anyway, guys, that is it. We'll catch you in the next one. 6.5 out of 10. Till then, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to Fog Entertainment, and we'll have some more Dexter videos and news and content coming out soon. Till then, peace.